She's #1 at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jazzy.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman.
Greg Gutfeld absolutely unleashed on Jasmine Crockett during a live broadcast, and the outcome was pure destruction. Armed with cutting remarks and zero hesitation, Gutfeld dismantled her over-the-top theatrics and left her visibly shaken. This wasn't a conversation. It was a full-blown verbal assault. While Crockett stuck to her scripted responses, Gutfeld showed up with a verbal flamethrower and torched every argument she had. The audience didn't just watch, they erupted with cheers. Online reactions exploded instantly. If you ever believed political shows were boring, this electrifying clash shattered that idea. Crockett had no idea the storm was headed straight for her.
Or literally, it's because you married a white woman and so you think that that whitewashed you.
That's not very woke, is it? Of course, Crockett isn't the only Democrat who's opposed to interracial marriage, or else more Democrats would have voted for this one. Racist!
Greg Gutfeld doesn't just debate, he demolishes. He doesn't tread carefully through discussions. He slices through nonsense like a political buzzsaw, dripping with sarcasm and charged-up intensity. So, when Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett stepped into the spotlight, flaunting her dramatic flair and craving viral moments, it was only a matter of time before she collided with the unstoppable force that is Gutfeld. And that impact was explosive. The moment Crockett tried to parade her political style beyond the halls of Congress, she made a huge miscalculation. She expected Gutfeld to treat her with the same softness the mainstream media usually gives her. And that misjudgment sealed her fate.
Plantation.
Tyrus, I go to you for no particular reason. Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices. Because we all get sucked into this. Like, this is... If you're going to talk about black history, at least know it. This is... At least know it, okay?
Instead, she walked right into the lion's den, completely unready, full of pride, and clearly outmatched. Crockett isn't exactly known for depth. She comes off more like a performer playing the role of a politician. She's mastered how to shout over others, toss out catchy buzzwords, and put on meltdowns perfect for social media. Her political journey so far has been more about fiery outbursts, headline-grabbing moments, and turning every microphone into her personal stage. Her supporters may call it fighting for justice, but to most people watching, it just looks like endless noise and confusion.
But it goes back to, that was 45 seconds of some of the, like, Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass talk. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation and factories? Get rid of the lottery. Open it up. Talk to the president. Like, hey, we got a plan. We want to make it easier for people who can vet and come in and work in this country. Come up with an idea besides, any of y'all want to pick cotton? We're like, we're in suits in the middle of the Midwest. Why would we pick cotton? It's like the extreme stupidness of what she speaks. I'm so angry right now.
And if you're enjoying this explosive breakdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, back to the heat. Greg Gutfeld doesn't just make noise. He cuts straight through it with razor-focused sarcasm and a confident smirk that screams, I already know how this ends, and it's not in your favor. So when he went after Crockett's latest over-the-top performance, a wild mix of race-charged jabs, blame-shifting, and showy partisanship, he wasn't there for a calm discussion. He was there to roast her alive. And that's exactly what he did. Gutfeld kicked things off by putting into words what so many were already thinking but hesitant to voice, that Jasmine Crockett isn't a serious lawmaker but a headline-hunting spectacle fueled by empty rage and showbiz-style antics.
She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
When the wheels fall off.
You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
She wasn't there to seek truth. She came armed with scripted speeches. She wasn't standing up for real principles. She was chasing viral sound bites and clout on social media. But in Gutfeld's arena, that's the weakest form of politics imaginable. His takedown didn't rely on volume. It didn't have to. It was cold, calculated, and dripping with sharp disdain. Gutfeld didn't yell. He simply revealed the truth like a spotlight. And what Crockett saw reflecting back was brutally unflattering. He dismantled her trendy catchphrases, spotlighted the obvious contradictions, and peeled back the weak logic holding her image together. And let's be honest, this wasn't just some accidental clash. Jasmine Crockett has made a career out of being the reigning queen of political theatrics. Every time a camera turns on, she's ready for another show, full of exaggerated faces, dramatic pauses, and just enough glittery language to keep the media hooked. It's not leadership, it's theater, plain and clear. But this time, the performance turned against her, and she completely crumbled. Gutfeld didn't just comment on her behavior. He dismantled it. Every theatrical gesture, every exaggerated reaction, every manufactured scandal. Gutfeld exposed it all with a lethal blend of sarcastic wit and grounded logic.
Kilmeade, she's getting to be the face of that party.
I know, thanks to your show.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more popular, this or The View on Gutfeld. But a couple of things. Did you see, at first I thought she was doing it for comedic purposes, but you watch back, nobody had a response. They didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And she's like, oh, really? Farming? Yes, it's called eating, farming. America's got the best farmers in the world. There's glory in doing it. People do it, and the people don't do it by hand anymore. This isn't 1820. So I was just stunned by what she's saying. But the weird thing is, she probably left that room thinking she knocked it out of the park. And I don't think that anyone can stop her from being the face of the party, except Bernie Sanders, who's 111 years old, talking about oligarchs.
He ridiculed the sheer ridiculousness of her outrage. He zeroed in on the wild contradictions in her speeches. 1 minute she's preaching about unity, and the next she's accusing anyone who disagrees with her of being part of some grand conspiracy trying to silence her so-called brilliance. Gutfeld didn't buy the act for even a second. He saw right through it and labeled it for what it truly was. A well-rehearsed performance meant to distract from one glaring reality. She hasn't actually achieved anything meaningful. And that's when things got truly satisfying. Gutfeld didn't just call out her behavior. He went straight for her record, or more accurately, the giant void where her accomplishments should be. For all her yelling, showmanship, and non-stop theatrics, Crockett's actual track record in Congress is barely a blip. No landmark bills, no notable wins, just an endless reel of viral moments and overhyped interviews where she screams the same tired slogans over and over. Gutfeld laid it all bare. Crockett isn't a true public servant. She's a walking brand. She's the political equivalent of a reality show contestant who thinks drama equals leadership. And while that might get her some social media applause, it does absolutely nothing to help the nation move forward.
Do you have an opinion on this? Or should I move on to somebody?
No, I just... It has to come from me.
Yes.
Okay? None of y'all are qualified. not just for one thing. I'm mad at Charmaine the guy because he should have kicked her out. See, the problem is that we are allowing our own culture to be openly racist and get away with it. Now, if a white person is offended by that, and they should be, they say something, it's like, it's not the same thing. But if you say that, and another brother looks at you and goes, man, you wrong for that. And I don't want you on my show. Get the hell out. Because I'm telling you right now, if I was not on the show, which happens sometimes, and someone was sitting in his chair and he was complaining about black men this and black that, and they shouldn't be here, and you know what happens when a white woman marries a black guy, you would not have seen that guy in the next segment. He would have kicked his ass off, because you're not going to talk about somebody that I care about like that, or another person like that. That's the problem.
As expected, Crockett's defenders jumped in immediately, and they didn't hold back. They scrambled to shield her with the same tired excuses, shouting that any criticism must be fueled by prejudice, sexism, or, of course, fear of her so-called power. But Gutfeld wasn't having any of it. He cut right through the noise with razor-sharp clarity, reminding everyone that holding someone accountable isn't hateful. It's called responsibility. And if a politician can't handle being challenged, maybe they're in the wrong line of work. And the public's response? Brutal. Social media exploded. Memes were everywhere. One image showed Gutfeld towering over a dazed cartoon-like Crockett with the caption, "Sit down and learn something." Others replayed the showdown over and over, treating it like the political version of a UFC smackdown. And honestly, it landed just as hard. Let's not twist it. This wasn't a sneak attack. Crockett marched right into it. No one forced her hand. She grabbed the mic, full of fire and ego, ready to throw punches, but completely forgot that Gutfeld never pulls his. While she spun, dodged, and raised her voice in a desperate attempt to shift the heat, Gutfeld stayed collected and hit her with facts, logic, and sarcasm so sharp it could slice through steel.
Yeah, all right, stop it! Although I must say you have great taste. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh, man. Okay.
It was like watching someone try to fight a wildfire with glitter. Flashy, panicked, and completely useless. Even some of her closest supporters began to quietly back away, clearly realizing this disaster was one they didn't want their names attached to. Gutfeld wasn't just mocking one ridiculous quote. He was taking down the entire showboating style of politics that Crockett represents. He exposed a growing trend of lawmakers who think going viral is more important than governing. And he did it with humor so sharp no one in the room could look away. Then came the knockout punch, the grand finale. After shredding her arguments, ridiculing her theatrics, and exposing the emptiness of her resume, Gutfeld hit her with a powerful reminder of what true leadership actually means. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room or throwing labels at anyone who disagrees. It's not about chasing headlines or turning every disagreement into a viral moment. Real leadership is about showing up, doing the hard work, and making a real difference, not chasing fame through flashy rants and dramatic scenes. Jasmine Crockett just got a brutal wake-up call. When you pick style over substance, someone like Greg Gutfeld will always be ready to peel back the curtain, dismantle the performance, and serve up a brutal dose of truth with a sizzling splash of satire.
Jesse, they call Musk a Nazi, and next thing you know, you got swastikas on cars. They called Trump Hitler and a Nazi and a fascist, and he got shot. So I don't really ever see that happening on the Republican side when we make fun of Democrats. It's also about the supporters. It's not just the leaders. It seems like Democrats are easily programmed to do bad things.
Yes, they are. They're very easily programmed, Greg.
I made you say that.
This wasn't just a takedown. It was a flashing warning sign with Greg Gutfeld's grin stamped right across it. He didn't simply tear apart Jasmine Crockett's performance. He transformed it into a loud, unforgettable message to every politician more obsessed with social media stardom than meaningful service. For every attention-seeking lawmaker chasing viral fame, confusing loudness for leadership, and TikTok drama for real policy work, Gutfeld grabbed a metaphorical megaphone and declared, "We see through it. We're tired of it. And no, the applause is over." Because let's be honest, this wasn't a real conversation. It wasn't an exchange of thoughtful ideas. It was like an ambush at a vegan dinner party, with Gutfeld bursting in, holding a rack of ribs and a bullhorn full of reality checks. Crockett tried to whip up energy in the room, leaning on her usual blend of loud outrage and tired catchphrases, hoping it would hide the fact that her points were as weak as a paper straw left in boiling soup. But this time, the performance flopped. The crowd wasn't buying what she was selling. There was no explosive applause, no sympathetic hashtag storm. Just a wave of awkward silence and that painful feeling you get when someone attempts a dramatic flip and crashes hard in front of everyone.
First, they cursed, now they thirst for blood. Jasmine Crockett is upping her temper tantrums, now saying the only way Democrats can win elections is by throwing hands.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right?
Crockett flailed in desperation, trying to take back control, spinning like a glitching Roomba while firing off buzzwords like systemic oppression, voice of the people, and the ever-dramatic, "let me finish." But each phrase bounced right off Gutfeld's calm, unbothered smirk like rubber darts hitting a brick wall. It was like watching someone try to tame a grease fire by giving it a lecture. Wildly amusing, but completely pointless. Meanwhile, Gutfeld looked like a man already thinking about what sandwich he'd have next. He didn't need to raise his voice or break a sweat. His takedown was so effortless, it felt like premium-level sarcasm delivered with the calm tone of a hotel receptionist. "Thank you for your outrage. Please remain on the line while we connect you to someone who actually cares." He wasn't just dominating the moment. He was doing it with total ease, like he was mentally on a beach while Crockett scrambled for footing. And the audience? They weren't just witnessing a moment. They were savoring every second of it. Every clever jab from Gutfeld landed like a party popper in a room packed with overinflated egos. Laughter echoed, heads whipped around. Crockett's attempt at a powerful, attention-grabbing moment fell apart spectacularly, turning into a painfully public reminder of what happens when someone fueled by theatrics crashes head-on into unfiltered truth and doesn't even see it coming.
Now, she claims that she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels back in 2020.
Her supporters rushed to contain the chaos. Tweets flew like confetti. Think pieces popped up in record time. And somewhere out there, someone likely started typing a passionate Instagram caption about misogynoir before realizing no amount of hashtags could erase the damage. But it was far too late. This wasn't just a slight misstep. It was the complete unraveling of a carefully curated image. The Empress wasn't just exposed. She was broadcasting her own collapse in real time. And Gutfeld? He'd already walked away from the wreckage. That smug calm etched on his face said it all. He knew he had won. He realized this wasn't just a loud debate. It was a cultural dissection. He didn't just take down Jasmine Crockett. He crushed the entire movement of flashy, performance-first politicians who mistake followers for qualifications and outrage for leadership. What made it even more devastating for Crockett was how completely unshaken Gutfeld remained. No yelling, no desk pounding, no dramatic gestures. Just cool sarcasm and razor-sharp truth, delivered with the timing of a seasoned comedian and the calm of someone who's seen this same scene play out too many times. He wasn't angry, he was unimpressed, and that somehow made it hurt even worse. Crockett stood there, mic still in hand, waiting for applause that never came. It was like belting out your best karaoke performance only to realize the bar is empty. And the mic wasn't even turned on.
How long is she going to keep this thing that she wasn't talking about, the wheelchair?
Yeah. Come on, babe, you know you're full of and all that, Jasmine. I think what happened was AOC was like, You guys, I need to triangulate and be serious now because I'm going to be a senator. So someone has to be a talking attention whore. Who's it going to be? And Jasmine raised her hand and goes, excuse me, Congresswoman Cortez, I speak jive.
What it is, mama.
She gave it everything. The volume, the drama, the spotlight. And still, it all collapsed right in front of her. Because yelling louder doesn't create vision, and hashtags can't take the place of a solid plan to lead. This wasn't just a clash of political sides. It was a battle between depth and distraction, reality and performance. Gutfeld didn't just dismantle a politician. He exposed a rising danger in today's political world, the viral politician epidemic. These are the ones who treat the halls of Congress like a content creator's playground, turning the chamber into their personal stage, where every proposed bill is just another scene in their online performance. And that was Gutfeld's real message underneath it all. Politics isn't supposed to be a platform for attention-hungry stunts. It's not a stage for reality TV antics or selfie-saturated activism dressed up as purpose. It's about results, not retweets. And if you treat it like a show, if you mistake noise for leadership, be warned. Because someone like Greg Gutfeld will always be just behind the curtain, ready with a takedown so clean, so cutting, it doesn't just silence your act, it turns your whole routine into a national warning sign. And Jasmine Crockett,